Hi there, I'm Ross. I'm the main content writer slash creator of the website. I've written articles for various health and nutrition, resistance training, supplement websites for years. More as a ghostwriter than anything in the past, if that's even a thing these days. I'm presenting myself now because I feel if you really care about getting quality, useful information out to people concerning their health, well-being, diets, training, supplements that they take, you really have to be an accessible and visible person now. The internet was created and has evolved into what it's become today within my lifetime, and it's become this beast of a thing, both with a light side and a very, very dark side, in my opinion. Now, the good thing about it is that there's so much more information available to anyone now that's got an internet connection. In fact, there's too much to get through, really. I'm sure that before you end up reading an article, there's going to be another 5 articles and 10 videos uploaded already, so probably more. So if you want to learn about the best way to do a certain exercise, for example, and this is one of the tough things about there being so much information out there, is you've got thousands of websites there to tell you how to do something. But the problem is a lot of it's going to be contradictory information. And that's really the negative thing about this huge resource that's the internet. What's right and what's wrong. And you see, you've got a lot of quality out there. Examples include Layne Norton, biolayne.com. He's a great guy, great scientist, very real, keeps it very real. Aragon pumping out his monthly research review. Stefi Cohen and the guys from Hybrid Performance. Eric Helms with his evidence-based approaches to powerlifting and bodybuilding. Greg Nuckols, who I love that guy. He seems to have fun doing meta studies, in the evening, just for shits and giggles, and it lets everyone read them and everyone learn from them. The list goes on, but the massive issue with the online world is that it puts everyone on a level playing field. So in times past, the con man or scam artists, they were generally speaking small time. But now that there's these giants on the web that want to grift you for the shirt off your back, and they get away with it. There's a fucking guy trying to tell people to avoid eating bananas because they have as much sugar in as Reese cups. Now, and then he says, by the way, you should buy this green powder smoothie shit that I make and use that instead. I won't name and shame just yet. Let's leave that for episode 2, at least. The thing is, if you have something real to talk about, something that will actually help people and not just rip them off, it takes a lot more work to pull it off. Scamming people's easy. You just need to act, distract, instill fear, and sound sincere. Poetry there. But solid, hard-earned, scientific, empirical, applicable knowledge takes constant work to accrue. And it never stops because research, technology, and individual innovation never stop. There's always going to be a newer and better way of doing things, if you can find it, including things connected to your diet, training, and supplementation. And that's also why I'm here. Far too often I see these so-called experts spouting old, out-of-date information. A lot of gyms, mine included, they employ professionals like kinesiologists, experts in movement of the human body. Really, they've a lot of them just have a degree in kinesiology, and we all know how you can coast through a degree. And they might remember a lot about the human body and movement, but it's not much good if you stop learning when you graduate university, however many years ago that might be. In that business, the business of muscle strength and conditioning, you can't sit on a dusty old degree. The same goes for nutrition. You can't sit on your old degree without taking time to continue your education on a daily basis. It should continue indefinitely, in fact. It's what takes you from being good at something or good at what you do to being great at what you do. And real experts tend to acknowledge this, and they also tend to acknowledge that people are individuals and that they have individual needs. Whereas most of the self-proclaimed kind of gurus that you find online, they tend to try and convince you that they can solve the world's problems with a product or a system, or they can solve everybody's diet, nutrition, obesity issues with this genius thing that they came up with. I've gone from being a martial artist to an Ironman triathlete, to the muscle and strength conditioning path I'm on now. And each transition has required different approaches to training, nutrition, supplementation, mindset, everything. So if one person, like me, needs several different lifestyle approaches, plans, programs based on what their current goals are, how could you possibly have a one-shot diet or a one-shot training program for the entire population? It just doesn't make sense. On the flip side, fat is fat, muscle is muscle, and gravity tends to work the same for everybody. So there are these fundamental, universal kind of lines of code that everyone can dial into their life and their diets and programs and whatnot. So that's it for now. My plan is to be another voice of reason and sound, applicable advice to counter the ever-growing pile of steaming bullshit out there, and help anyone that I can, while also hopefully making a bit of money where possible. Thanks.